The moment Naya Okorie heard the truth, the spoon slipped from her hand and shattered on the kitchen floor. Not because it fell, but because her entire life finally made sense. She was 38 years old, unmarried, and had sacrificed everything for her family only to discover they never wanted her to marry at all. And the reason would change her forever. Naya had always been known as the strong one. She was drawn with gentle eyes, tired smiles, and shoulders that always seemed to carry invisible weight. From the age of 23, life placed responsibility on her head like a crown she never asked for. Her father, Paul Okorie, once a proud factory supervisor, lost his job when the factory shut down. Her mother, Mama Ifinanya, was loving but fragile, the kind of woman who cried quietly and expected others to be strong for her. Naya's younger siblings, Chisholm and Emeka, were still in school, full of dreams and needs. So Naya stepped up. She became the breadwinner without ceremony or applause. She spent each day of her life waking before sunrise, tying her hair back, rushing through crowded streets, and working late into the night as a junior marketing executive. Every paycheck disappeared into school fees, hospital bills, rent, food, and emergencies that never seemed to end. When relatives praised her, they said things like,
"God bless you, Naya, and you're such a beautiful daughter."
No one ever said, "Are you okay?" At 26, Naya fell in love with Daniel Adebayo, a soft-spoken civil engineer with kind eyes and a laugh that made her feel young again. In the animated world, their scenes were warm and bright, full of sunlight and playful banter. Daniel proposed at 29. That was when the resistance began. Mama Ifinanya cried for days, holding her chest and saying she felt unwell whenever marriage was mentioned. Paul Okorie warned her gently that marriage required focus and sacrifice. Chisholm and Emeka suddenly needed more money, more help, more attention. "Just wait a little," her mother said. "Your siblings are not settled yet," her father added. After Emeka finishes school, they promised. Naya waited. Daniel waited too. At 32, Daniel stood under the rain outside her apartment, animated tears mixing with falling drops. He told her he loved her, but he could not keep waiting for a future that never seemed to arrive. When he left, something inside Naya went quiet. Years passed. Naya rose in her career. She became successful, respected, and financially comfortable. Her siblings thrived. Chisholm opened a fashion boutique. Emeka traveled abroad for his master's degree. Her parents moved into a better house. And Naya? She lived alone. At 38, she attended her younger brother Emeka's wedding. She was clapping, smiling, and blinking back tears as she watched someone younger than her begin a life she had postponed again and again. That night, she stayed back to help clean the family house. While washing dishes, she overheard voices in the living room. She wasn't trying to listen. Fate simply opened the door. It was her mother speaking to Auntie Rose, her father's sister. "She would have married long ago if we allowed it," Mama Ifinanya said quietly. Auntie Rose sighed. "But what would have happened to all of you then?" Mama Ifinanya's voice trembled. "We were afraid. Afraid she would leave us. Afraid we would lose her support." Naya's heart began to race. The words landed slowly, cruelly. They hadn't delayed her marriage out of concern. They had delayed it out of fear. Fear of losing their provider. Fear of standing on their own. Fear of her choosing herself. Naya walked into the living room, her eyes glowing with shock and hurt. The room fell silent. "So that's it?" she asked calmly. "I didn't marry because you didn't want to lose my money." No one answered. Her mother cried. Her father looked away. Auntie Rose said nothing. For the first time in her life, Naya did not try to fix anything. She left the house that night. In the following weeks, Naya began to change. She reduced how much she sent home. She stopped apologizing for saying no. She took time off work and traveled alone for the first time in her life. On a certain day, she sat on a beach, staring at the horizon, finally asking herself what she wanted. Months later, she met Lucas Morgan, a widowed animator and storyteller with a gentle soul and patience in his smile. He didn't rush her. He didn't pressure her. He listened. Naya told him everything. And for the first time, love didn't feel like something she had to earn. When she returned home a year later, she was different. Lighter. Stronger. Oh. Her family had learned to survive without leaning on her. And as Naya stood on her balcony once more, city lights glowing beneath her, she realized the truth. She was never late to life. She was simply delayed by people who benefited from her sacrifice. And now, finally, she was free to choose herself.